Welcome back. In today's video, we'll be making Lady Urbosa's shield. If you've accidentally watched this video first, sorry to tell ya, yeah, it's a whole series and this is the end. So jump back to the beginning. The playlist is gonna be in the description and I'm gonna pin it in the comments so it's easier for you to find. Now let's get started with your shield. You're gonna need 4 pieces of triangular shapes. You can draw these by hand, freehand, or you could download a pattern off of Etsy. And for the shield, you're gonna need very thick material, so the very thickest of the EVA foam. This is the type that you would find on an exercise mat. And next you're gonna just hit everything with the heat gun. For each of your pieces, make sure that they're nice and warm so that they're easy to be curved around your object that's like circular. For me, I'm just using like a workout ball. You're gonna press that around it till the shape starts to become kind of a dome. For your next step, I do draw a little line connecting each of these before I glue them to keep myself organized. It's best to do this outside, so use your contact cement. You're going to put some on both of the pieces that you're going to glue together, and then you have to wait, give it some time to get tacky before you put them together. Once they're tacky, go ahead and line up your 2 lines on each side to keep your stuff straight, even, and beautiful when you have a nice, cute finish at the end. I do want to keep the painstaking process of this in the video. I will not be cutting much of this out because you need to see that this glue is kind of hard to work with. It connects in places that it shouldn't out of your eye line, and then you have to rip it apart to put it back together. So just keep that in mind as you're working with it. It's pretty sticky. But if you want your cosplay to last 25 years, this is the glue. Yeah, this is the glue. Okay, now after everything is nice and dry and glued together, I'm gonna freehand draw the design that I need on top of this shield. So it's a little bit off screen, but I do have my cell phone nearby and I'm using the photo of the shield as my reference so that I can draw from that. This next part is tricky, but I needed to transfer the pattern that I drew onto a sheet of paper. So what I'm doing is cutting it out with a X-Acto knife. Yeah, this took a minute, but I did it. I basically tried to trace what I had drawn onto a sheet of paper, and then I'm gonna cut that out. And you wanna make sure that everything fits, so sit it back onto your shield and make sure it fits. Now that it fits, I'm going to trace it on another sheet of paper so that I can make it a larger piece to put on the shield. You'll see in a second. Now that I have 2 pieces, I'm going to glue these together. Tape these together, friends. Tape it. And here I just want to make sure both sides match, so I'm taping a little extra piece to make the tip that got cut off here. And lovely. Now we have a really large piece that we could use to decorate this shield, and I'll use the same piece on the bottom here. I did make 2 of these because I am a little bit extra. Well, not extra per se, it's more so that I'm visual and I need to see what it looks like before I commit, so that's why I did it. Next, you're going to get your very thick EVA foam / exercise mat. Then trace 2 copies of your pattern. Then after that, you're going to cut them out. Okay, so this this X-Acto knife was trash. I hated this knife. What is this, a box cutter? Yeah, I hated this box cutter, and I had ordered like a brand new one. I'm sorry, I have to rant. But I ordered a brand new one on Amazon, and it took like 3 days to get there. I had to finish this out, so it turned out really ugly, and I hated how the edges were. But you know what? Even though it doesn't work out the way you want, it'll be fine. Okay, all right, my rant is over. So, right now we're going to use our wood cutter. You're going to do all of your fine details, fine lines with a wood cutter in a well-ventilated area. Slow and steady wins the race with this one. You do not want to rush through this and make it look super jagged and rough, just slow. And it ends up looking quite beautiful at the end, and that made me forget all about my stupid box cutter drama. Yeah. And here are my 2 finished pieces. They look really nice. I'm going to heat these up with my heat gun so that I can bend them into a nice dome shape. It's very important that you do this so that they fit onto your shield nicely. You're going to use the same heat then mold option that you used earlier in the video. Now look how nicely these sit on top of it. It's perfect. Now when I glue it, it's kind of gonna hug the shape of the shield. Oh yeah, that's satisfying as fuck. Okay, and now we're just gonna work on the details. We got a couple different things that we're gonna glue onto this using contact cement. Right here, I'm just showing you that I've already glued on our lovely embellishments, and we're going to glue on 2 more circle shapes onto the shield. Okay, you'll need to use a thinner EVA foam to cut out 2 circles, and then we're going to heat these up with a heat gun and bend them over that orange ball to create a dome shape for these little guys. See, just kind of like mold them around, just like that. And after those are set, use some contact cement again and glue them together onto the shield. Be very intentional about your placement and make sure you're pressing down very hard to make sure that they connect really nicely and it does not budge afterwards. I mean, it's never gonna come off. I also cut some square embellishments too and glued them on off screen, but as you can see, it's pretty simple. Oh, and I forgot to record this part for you, but I did use the wood burner for some more design details. The next step, I'm going to glue on some beautiful, gorgeous, googly eyes to create some more design elements for the shield. Space your googly eyes evenly around the shield to have a more cohesive design. Try not to worry about how cursed this looks right now because my skin high-key is crawling like ew. Okay, for the next step, we're gonna do the armband to make sure that you can actually carry your shield, friends. Yeah, you're gonna wanna find a very comfortable spot that your arm is gonna lay, Use a white marker to mark out where you want to put your straps and then test it out. You're gonna like fake glue this on first. Try it on, and it's like a loosely glued, okay? And if it's in the right spot, you leave it. If it's not in the right spot, you adjust it before you do your final glue, okay? This is very important. At this stage, I found exactly where I want my glue. I've tried it on with like a light glue type of situation. And now I'm going to really glue it. I'm using a little bit of my X-Acto knife here to kind of scratch up the surface so that the glue adheres better. Alright, and this is a totally different day. I was working on this cosplay for a couple of months off and on. Today was a really big day for me. I went outside and I primed every single piece that makes up the complete cosplay. I'm using Plasti Dip on all of them. It's this black product that I'm spraying on the shield. All of my items are gorgeous. They're all black just like this, and it's the perfect primer for me to start painting on top of when that time comes. Check out all of my stuff. This is my belt. And I use the painter's tape to seal off the areas I don't want to paint. But this is all of my stuff, you guys. I'm about to paint everything, and it's so exciting because this is like my favorite part of all of this. Painting is just so much fun for me. This has pretty good coverage, so I only needed one layer to kind of cover all of the black that's exposed here. I just sprayed it until I couldn't see the black anymore, one time. And these are all my other pieces, looking gorgeous and golden. I am so happy. It's getting close, y'all. I'm about to be done. But before I'm done, I do have to go back in and paint over top of that gold. I prefer more of a yellowish overlay because it'll give me the proper color that Lady Urbosa has on her shield. And for these two blue gems that are on my shield, I started off with a light blue flat base, and I'll cover that with a darker metallic blue. As you're painting your shield, it's very important that you have a visual aid to help you. So make sure you have a picture pulled up somewhere on your phone, iPad, or just something printed out so that you can see what you're doing in color and make sure that you're matching your colors well and that your item looks pretty similar to the character you're portraying. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now and let you guys enjoy this beautiful montage of me painting the rest of this thing. Okay, I'm back. Just to interject real quick, I did draw these off screen, so I wanted to explain. I drew a little octagon or hexagon, I don't know which one, leave me alone. I drew the little shape of a stop sign, and then I drew lines protruding out of each corner. And it created the lovely look of a gem. So yes, that is a cheat code to making a gem on your own. Now for this red gem in the centerpiece, I did purchase this online, and all I'm going to do is just roughen up the surface here in a second, and then I'm going to glue this on top of my shield, and I think I'll pretty much be done. Before you glue, very lightly scuff up your gem on the back. Just don't scrape off that reflective stuff. Gently, super gently. So I do this with every piece of the costume. Take it outside and use a acrylic sealant to seal in all of the paint that you did so that your stuff doesn't get scuffed. Also use painter's tape to block off any areas that you don't want to paint by accident. Be careful. Thank you. Oh, and here she is. Isn't she lovely? I love this shield. It looked so good on the day that I wore it. I've worn this cosplay twice since then, and it's stunning. It's perfect. The colors showed up in the sunlight and in all of my photographs. Please do this if you want to try this character. I highly recommend it. So fun. If you watched the entire series, thank you. If you'd like to see more of these really fun videos on costume making, like and subscribe. I'll have some more stuff coming.